Yeah. I talked to the last one about what's happening in our schools. So I'm just giving you an update, really. If you weren't the last one, I started a little group just locally. Just a couple of my friends and I started to get together to have a rant about what's happening with women's rights and stuff, but they had kids in local schools, so we started to talk about what's going on in schools as well. And from that, it sort of grew. They started to talk to other parents, I started to talk to other people. We grew the group, we talked to Scottish Union of Education, had a meeting with them, and we organised actually it ended up sort of like 40 parents, teachers, interested people getting together. I hired a hall locally, and we had a couple of speakers from Scottish Union of Education, like Jenny Cunningham, a paediatrician, and a teacher. And then we had a discussion, so that was really useful. And it seemed to like open up the conversation for people and give people a bit more courage and support about challenging their schools, about taking kids out of RSHP and what was being put into, like classrooms, and activist teachers talking to kids about gender and confusing them. So that's been going really well. We're sort of growing the group there. And last week on Thursday, there was a meeting at Glasgow City Council, and and they were talking about, they had one motion for education, and there was another motion by Councillor Elaine Gallagher, who's a bloke in a dress. And of course, there's loads of, they just tell blatant lies, really. It's really unevidenced lies about suicide and transgenocide, and how like if you're a woman and you've got short hair and you wear trousers, you're probably now going to be attacked because of the right-wing bigots stirring up hate about trans people. It's just ridiculous. But in this meeting, we heard about it about a week before, and one of the ladies in our group's a really good letter writer. So she wrote a letter and sent it to the Lord Provost. So rather than the councillors themselves, just because there was general questions about, all this, the lies, really, sort of like the really over-the-top rhetoric that's just stirring stuff up. And there was about 20 signatures, so we put all our signatures to it. And it was quite interesting. They did respond quite quickly, but fobbed us off, though it'll be interesting because we're chasing them up for responses. But yeah, watching the actual meeting on Thursday last week was really interesting, but they need to be challenged on these things. And it's really useful if you do sort of can talk to other parents and start a local group. Scottish Union of Education are really useful to talk to. Save Our Schools Scotland and For Women Scotland have been great for advice as well. So yeah, we can do it. We can start small groups and join together just to be a strong voice. That's it, really. Thank you very much.